Hi everyone, I'm Alex Cosford, Senior Program Facilitator at the Early On Child and Family Center in Midland. And this is a storybook that my mom wrote, Violet Rawlings, and it's called April Without Spring. Here we go. There had been nothing unusual about the winter. Jack Frost and North Wind had kept everything cold and frosty, and because it was March, some snow remained in the forest. March had come in like a lion. You know March, blustering and howling until it seems winter will never end. Then he stops. Once everyone thinks spring is finally coming, he lets out a roar. But when April arrives, he retreats like a lamb. And that's when it all started. The day March was to leave. Mother Nature had already left with winter, leaving spring to watch over March, Jack Frost, and North Wind. The children, Emily, her brother Logan, and his best friend Dylan, loved to play in the forest behind their homes and were making the most of that last day of March. North Wind greeted the children with a gust of wintry air. Jack Frost, surrounded by ice crystals, followed while March cheered them on. "Where did that come from?" Dylan shouted. "So much for March going out like a lamb." "A lamb," jeered March, as he and his friends dusted the children with snow. "Time for that campfire," Logan called out. "Race you!" Jack Frost and North Wind gave chase, swirling cold air and flurries around the children. "I'm freezing," Emily complained. "We need that fire now." They heated their lunch over the campfire while North Wind and Jack Frost continued to scatter flurries around them. Emily complained again. "I need something hot to drink." And she threw her unfinished drink into Bubbling Brook. Logan, aiming carefully, smashed it with a snowball. "Bullseye!" he shouted. Emily soon became bored and started exploring where snow had melted away. "What are these tiny flowers?" she asked her brother. "Hepaticas," stated Logan. "Remember Mom making a big deal about them last year?" "Don't remember," she said. "But they are pretty." Emily turned away, carelessly stepping on the tiny flowers. "Can we go now? I'm so cold." Spring shook her head in dismay. Poor Hepaticas, as if they weren't having a hard enough time without their blanket of leaves. She touched Jack in the pulpit. "Jack, wake up." "I'm awake," said Jack in the pulpit, sleepily, as his hood drooped again. Spring floated back to the top of Willow to watch Logan, who was now climbing upward. "Look out below," he called as he climbed. Breaking branches as he went, he slipped and fell into a pile of snow. The boys laughed as he stood up, unharmed. Willow moaned. Tiny saplings sheltering at his roots were crushed by the fall. "I'm leaving," Emily called over her shoulder. "I'm telling Mom you wouldn't take me home." "What a baby," whooped Logan as he and Dylan caught up to her. "You have to put the fire out before we leave," she said. "It's snowing. It'll go out on its own." Logan playfully punched Dylan in the arm. "Race you!" Their laughter faded as they left the forest. Only then did everyone begin to chatter. Strange noises came from Bubbling Brook as she made her way around the garbage. Willow looked around anxiously, his branches hanging limply. "Are they gone?" Red Squirrel coughed as he tried to speak. "Yep, and left the campfire burning." He looked up at Willow. "Broke more branches, eh, Willow?" "What can I do? Logan is careless." "You could tell him to climb down," Red Squirrel suggested with a grin. "Wouldn't that give him a surprise?" Spring leaned over the tiny flowers. "How are you, Hepaticas? Everybody okay?" "Oh, sure. Just a quick touch-up and we'll be good as new." "What do you think, Spring? We just got trampled. How much longer must we put up with those children?" yelled Pink Hepaticas, turning red with anger. "Until today you've been asleep and buried under the snow," said Willow. "You haven't had to put up with them all." Willow paused. "What's that sound?" "Us!" March dropped in front of Willow as North Wind and Jack Frost covered him with snow. then swooped over Hepaticus, who shivered under their icy breath. "Stop!" said April and Spring. "Why are you making my job so difficult?" Spring chided gently. "When Mother Nature arrives with April, she won't be very happy with you. Or the children." Her voice trailed off. She had forgotten how careless they could be. Sunshine broke through the clouds, and Mother Nature floated down. Down a sunbeam in an eddy of ice crystals, Jack Frost, North Wind, and March retreated into the forest. "Come back." Mother Nature held up a shimmering crystal timepiece. "It's time for you three to leave. I've brought April." As April emerged from the crystal and joined her friend Spring, Mother Nature turned suddenly to Willow. "What's wrong with your limb?" "It's broken," said Willow. "I can see that. What happened? I didn't order North Wind to do any pruning." Well, Willow was reluctant to tell Mother Nature what Logan had done. The children, chimed the Hepaticus. "What about the children?" demanded Mother Nature. At that moment, Bubbling Brook let out a yelp. Mother Nature turned to her. "Broken glass," mumbled Bubbling Brook. "Broken glass, broken limbs. What has been happening?" said Mother Nature. The children, chorused the Hepaticus. Mother Nature saw Hepaticus' thick blanket of leaves missing, leaving them shivering. "Where's the blanket of leaves that Autumn left? And where is Jack in the Pulpit?" Jack in the Pulpit yawned and stretched. "I'm awake," he said sleepily. "Good," said Mother Nature. "Now, Spring, explain." "Well, March won't behave. Jack Frost and North Wind undo everything I do, and the children," Spring sighed. "What about the children?" Mother Nature raised her voice. The ground rumbled throughout the forest. She repeated herself quietly. "Now about the children." Willow tried to explain. "Well, they're rambunctious. They just don't think." Mother Nature moved over the trail. "And this garbage?" "From the children," Spring sighed quietly. Trampled flowers, garbage, and broken saplings were everywhere, but the smoldering fire made her the angriest. "A fire?" she said. "Don't they know how dangerous that is? And matches. Don't they know what smoke does to the air?" Mother Nature moved back and forth, shaking her head and looking sad. Heavy clouds formed. The sky darkened. The sadder she became, the darker the sky. "I will have to give this some thought." She turned to Spring and April. "Please fix the damage. I'll be back later for North Wind and Jack Frost. Come along, March." They disappeared into a cloud of blue ice crystals. Spring and April worried about Mother Nature's return. And when she did, Spring! She was angry. "There's still snow." "April, not one rain shower since I left. How can anything grow?" April sighed. "I've made showers, but Jack Frost turns them into snow. The children break the trees and trample the flowers. We repair them and nurse them back to health." Spring agreed. "Some days we can't breathe because of the smoke from the campfire. And the broken glass, Bubbling Brook can't move." Mother Nature remained thoughtful and then said, "What if I bring back winter and there is no spring, no summer, no fall, no seasons at all?" Everyone was astounded. "No seasons? Just ice cold like an ice age?" "Exactly," replied Mother Nature. "Maybe then people will understand I will not tolerate abuse 1 minute longer." She raised her hand to the crystal and appeared looking cold and frosty inside. She snapped her fingers, and winter returned. No one had ever been able to see him, only feel his frigid air and see his dark skies. It's time everyone got used to having April without spring. That's it for today's video. Be sure to tune in for the next one, April Without Spring, Part 2. Thanks.